Hey guys, this is Mich and Bo. Today I'm excited to bring you two wines from a very exciting Spanish producer. So the Spanish producer is called Succés Vinicola, and we've got a white and a rosé today. So I'm really excited with this producer because they're actually one of the pioneers that's making the native grape variety Parellada into still wine, because the grape variety Parellada is usually blended to make a sparkling wine called cava. And these two wines are from Catalonia. They're from the mountainous region of Catalonia in Spain. So we're excited to try the white first. The white, again, this is made from the variety Parellada. Some of you may not have heard about it. That's because, again, like I said, it's usually blended into cava, the Spanish sparkling wine. As you can see, the label is fun and fresh, obviously marketed to a younger crowd. So this is meant to be non-serious, complicated wine that's just made for easy, enjoyable drinking. This particular wine, it's made from organic grapes, grown from the mountains region, more specifically of Conca de Barbera in Catalonia. It's made from really old vines, around 40 to 60-year-old bush-trained vines, and it's grown on calcareous, calcium, and clay. So as we taste it, hopefully we'll be able to pick up the minerality and greater concentration from the low yields.
Let's try.
So let's try, okay? Firstly, this is a 2016 white. So it's got about 4 age in a bottle, but as you can see, the color is deeper than the usual 4-year-old white. And that's because this particular wine has got some skin contact in its winemaking. And skin contact, for those of you who aren't quite familiar, is that it's made, this white wine is made like a red wine, in that it ferments together for a short time with its skins. So that's what gives it color. So on the nose, what do you get on the nose, Bo?
I get raisins.
Yes. There's raisins, and there's that sweet honey, that thick, luscious, dried baked fruits of Yellowstone fruit.
Yeah, maybe apricots.
Yep. And some pineapples and tangerines, but again, they're like on a spectrum of baked to dried fruits.
I get pineapple on the mouth.
It's quite floral, light, as in floral, but backed up by thick, luscious fruit. Okay, wow.
Yeah, I get pineapple.
It's got
that bite to it, that pineapple bite.
Yes, there's some bite, so
sharpness.
there's that tannins as well. So tannins, again, is from skin contact.
Yeah.
I find that what I taste is reflected in the nose, and it's got that. We talked about that minerality. The minerality comes from that soil of calcareous clay, and again, factoring in is a mountainous wine, so it's at high altitude of around 500 to 700 meters at sea level. So it gets that really high altitude, very elegant minerality feel. It's not fat and flabby and big and bodacious. So this is actually quite a sleek body. It's got flavor. It's got that flavor concentration from that old yield. 40 to 60-year-old, bush trained
wow.
vines.
Okay.
So it's interesting. So I think this is like a great wine, and it's quite a great value, natural, organic kind of wine from Spain.
And I get that minerality you're talking about, like it's, I don't know, lime or shale or granite kind of.
Yes,
quite, yeah.
It's just I wouldn't use the word saline, but they're very cool rocks. It's just very smooth. So it's from the front attack. As soon as it hits your tongue through the mid palate, it just flows really effortlessly. Just very.
I don't know,
silky.
when I drink this, it reminds me of I picture in my mind like a brook going through some small little, like a brook going through over pebbles or some granite or something. You get that kind of smell.
And that impression, I guess that's why
that's right.
That's why when people talk minerality, it gives you that impression of mineral rocks and the movement of it in your mouth.
And the fruitiness is not really that forefront, isn't it? It's more the acid and the minerality for me.
On the palate, yes. So on the palate, the fruitiness, like you said, it's not as pronounced. It's not as evident as it is on nose. It's just a very smooth, elegant, very straightforward, linear mouthfeel.
I get a hint of strawberry. I don't know, that sharpness. Not a ripe strawberry, but the
white strawberry.
Something a bit greener. More on the nose maybe.
So this is certainly an interesting white, but thoroughly enjoyable.
Would you pair this with food, or?
I'll definitely pair this with food, and I think it's quite a versatile wine because it's had skin contact, so it's got that really neat tannic structure. The tannins are there, but it doesn't dominate in the mouth. So any white meat, you can go from poultry, chicken to even turkey. Thanksgiving Day, there we go, turkey with or without sauce. I think it will certainly pair well.
Something creamy as well.
And yes,
it'll cut through creaminess.
It will definitely cut through creaminess with or without, or even the white cold cuts. And I would pair this perhaps with cheese, more specifically harder cheese, because of that tannin structure. Okay, now we're moving on to the rosé. So we've got this rosé called, again, a very fun and fresh label for the younger market. It's called Batanga, and it's made from 100% Trepat. So it's a Spanish red grape native variety, again native to the mountainous region of Conca de Barbera in Catalonia in Spain. So let's have a look. So this has gone through, again, fermented on skins, hence you get this very intriguing color, I have to say. It's not quite pink or in the spectrum of the red for rosé. It's more like orangey.
Looks like salmon, like orange, pinkish color.
Yes.
There's a tinge of orange to it for sure. Oh, the nose is interesting.
The nose is magnificent. Wow, okay.
Very.
So this is a 2017 way. It's a very pronounced nose.
Very
you can
pronounced,
smell it. It's a huge
bouquet.
It's got some age. So we've got that aged aged bouquet of honey, slight coffee, toffees. You wouldn't think of toffee in a rosé. Any fruit? There is some fruit, but
I'm thinking of, I don't know what it is. Prunes? Is it prunes?
Oh yes. So prunes. So that takes on the tertiary characteristics of the wine.
But it's almost like prunes mixed with chocolate or something, or
Yeah.
coffee maybe.
Yeah,
like
coffee
you
mocha-ish.
said. Very interesting though. I don't think I've ever smelled anything like this in a wine. Definitely don't expect this in a rosé, but it's interesting.
There are some very light red fruits in the background, very light, but you really have to, because we already know this is a rosé, so you know, subconsciously we are trying to find those red fruited notes in here. But if this was served blind, we would have I wouldn't have picked it as a rosé.
Not at all.
More as an aged white.
Yeah, not at all. Ooh. Quite a punch. Very steely. Minerally as well, just like the white.
But this has more tannin structure. Because it's probably fermented longer on its skins, and you have to remember that it's made from Trepat, which is a red grape variety, compared to Parellada, which is a white grape variety. So the tannins are more prominent here. So I get that kind of lolly, like a very sweet, nice, yummy lollied flavor. Almost. What is it?
Candy-ish?
Yes,
Like a
very
candy
pastel
yeah.
lolly,
Okay.
which reminds me of Grenache actually. But yeah, it's not very obviously red fruited. It's a very light, again, a very elegant rosé, a very elegant European rosé, old world rosé. Because there's all the nuances of flavors. They're not as obvious on its own.
Interesting. But they're clearly from the same vineyard, because you can see similarities between them, isn't it? That minerality coming through, that steeliness, that sharpness, that very again, I imagine the vineyard to have some brook going through it or something, right? Very fresh morning, very it's quite punchy wines.
It's quite punchy,
slop,
so concentration from old vines.
Very tight,
and this also has old vines, I think around similar to the Parellada. And old vines generally generate higher concentration, higher extract of the wine, and that high altitude and that limestone and clay soil will give it that very slim, very very quaint minerality. So it's not a big bombastic wine again, but it's got that lovely pronounced flavor, but yet held very smartly in that packaged body. Great. So I like this rosé, and it's very drinkable, and it's highly versatile.
I'm enjoying both of them.
I think this would pair great with cold meats, cold cuts, charcuterie, with Spanish, the Spanish fairs, Iberico. Yum.
Well done.
Cheers again. Till next time.
Happy drinking.